How to get away with a murder, hypothetically speaking. You awake in your home to the stench of spoiled meat and the tang of iron hanging in the air. A dull red dries the flakes on your palms and a stickiness encrusts your fingertips. A body lies on your cleared off countertop. You don't have any idea of how you got to this point, but the truth is staring you right in the face.
Congratulations, you just killed a man. Now, you can either A, call the police and hope that they believe that you didn't perform manslaughter, which, by the way, is a crime, or you could B, hide your tracks. Assuming you value your freedom and don't want 30 plus years of parole, also for the sake of the speech, I'm going to teach you how to get away with murder. Okay, first things first. Murder is a big no-no. You should never attempt it, no matter how much you really want to. But let's say, hypothetically, you kinda sorta did kill someone. Or are trying to. I mean, it could have been an accident. At least that's what we're telling the cops. You could have planned it though, you maniac. You would hypothetically need a way to not get caught. There are some things you need to take into account before you commit your totally hypothetical fake murder you have no intentions of actually committing. If you're smart, you have been planning this murder for weeks, maybe even months. A textbook villain, like myself, would have been conniving for much longer and have it planned out on a calendar. But let's be honest. There's Netflix, and between eating and sleeping, you don't have time for that. This is a one-man or woman show. And so you can't really inform anyone of your crimes. Don't have a partner, because snitches get stitches, and they could go to the cops, so it's best not to go down that road. You're also going to need a passport and a, let's snack, fake ID, just in case things go AWOL. A good example of planning is waiting for when your victims least expect it. Like at 4 o'clock in the morning, when your entire family is still sleeping. The next step to your imaginary murder is the evidence. It's a bad idea to try to eliminate all the evidence from a crime scene because you'll wind up putting more evidence than you thought was there before. You'll screw it up, basically, and leave more evidence of the process. Instead, try leaving the DNA of someone else that you may not like there. Couple strands of hair, and you're set. Now, how you handle a murder, hypothetically, will depend on your location. Most horror movies like Chainsaw Massacre happen smack dab in the middle of nowhere, like Kansas. This means that they don't really have to worry about cleanup time. However, in a lot of TV shows, like Law & Order, the setting is in very public areas. If you do it somewhere discreet, you'll still most likely want to get rid of the evidence just to be safe. Just don't kill anyone where it's hard to clean up. You can hypothetically kill someone in the woods and just leave the body there, making sure that there's no connection to you. But that's not always an option. If you're impatient and decide to kill someone in the woods, you can't really just set the forest on fire. Now, if you did the deed in somewhere like your house, that's where things get both easier and harder. You would want to minimize the amount of bodily fluids. So laying the floors with something like plastic would be very useful. I don't mean cling wrap plastic, however, I mean actual plastic you buy at the store. But even if you do that, there's a good chance that you miss something. Scrub everything down with bleach. And then get it dirty again. No one's house is spotless clean. Ever. And if it is, they're weirdos and you shouldn't talk to them. If you get it dirty again, it'll seem like someone actually lives there and you didn't just try to clean up a body. If the police come with a warrant and they see that this house smells like bleach, that one thing that you use to clean up a murder, and there was recently a murder, and they're there with a warrant and they check for signs of a murder, you're going to jail. You can even invite friends over to help dirty up the place. They won't know the difference. Bring them food and they will assist willingly. Buy a blacklight. It lets you see things like blood and tears and spit. And you can clean up everything you see. There's no such thing as being too paranoid. Oh, hey. Another tip is don't leave any incriminating evidence on computers. If you search things like how to hide a body, you're going to get put on the FBI's watch list. And if that happens, you're pretty much screwed. If you commit your hypothetical murder, of course. Which is the exact opposite of what we want. We're going hard, and we're trying to not get caught. Because we all know no one looks good in orange. Now, going into private mode on your computer will not help you in any way. Private mode does not mean what you searched gets erased. It means that it gets backed up on your Wi-Fi server. And guess who uses Wi-Fi? Everybody. Hello again. Okay. To minimize the amount of evidence, wear gloves. Like these fabulous ones here. And cover your hair with something. You can also wear painter's booties or plastic bags if you're broke over your shoes. Protect those $200 J's. Leave any evidence or weapons at the crime scene. And don't kill a person in something that you normally wear. If you strangle Shanae with your special edition Louis Vuitton belt and then wear said belt after you kill her, well, I'm pretty sure the cops will catch you. You can always burn your clothes later. Any weapons used should either be discarded or destroyed. They won't matter much unless they have some connection to you. Just like if you were to kill someone with a regular knife or bludgeon them with a hammer, the cops won't anyways. Technology is pretty advanced these days. So be as basic and simple as possible. It helps if they aren't awake beforehand. That way there won't be a struggle. Okay, the last step for your evidence is removal of any evidence from the actual body. The police have several ways to identify a body, one of which is if they've been in the system. If Futon has a criminal record, they'll have his fingerprints. So you have to get rid of those. I mean, you can always cut off his hands, but no, that's gross. A better way is just getting rid of the fingerprints themselves, which you can do with a number of strong acids. Ever watch Breaking Bad? Some hydrochloric or hydrofluoric acid will do the job and is widely available. Now, the police can also trace people by their dental records or just how they look. Dental-wise, you're going to want to have to pull out the teeth. All of them. All of them. But now you have teeth. So a necklace maybe? I don't know. Next comes facial features or any distinguishing characteristics. Hair will have to be removed, which you can do with either a razor or just pouring some Nair on them, whichever one is easier. Shaving them and then cleaning under their nail beds where there might be excess DNA from yourself or from the crime scene is also being cautious. Lastly, you're going to have to go slightly extreme. This is the 21st century, which means that everyone knows what everyone looks like based on Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, etc.
Sadly, for your murder scenario, this means you're going to have to take some pretty drastic measures. And by that, I mean mutilation, but for a good cause. Only do all of this if you plan on hiding the body later on. If you don't plan on hiding the body, all this will have been pointless. Okay, so you're good evidence-wise, but now you still have a corpse. There are numerous ways to hide or get rid of it. Number 1, you could dig a grave. But as a professional, I can tell you from experience that it won't be that easy. It is extremely hard digging into the ground, especially in the colder months when the earth is basically concrete. If you can manage this though, make sure the hole is extremely deep. The police use specially trained dogs to help them sniff out a body, and these dogs will smell straight through that 6 feet of soil. What you could do is bury your body around 10 feet down and then bury a dead animal a couple of feet above it. But now you've just murdered an animal. God help your soul. The police dog should smell the animal, and the popo will call a false positive, assuming nothing more is there. Even if they did continue their search, you already cleaned up any evidence. Great job thinking ahead. Okay, so you're good evidence-wise, but option number 2, burn the body. Find a secluded shed. Place said body in shed. Douse in gasoline and light a flame. This is best done if you killed the person in the shed to begin with. Then you wouldn't have to deal with all that prior cleanup. Plus, fires tend to burn away any DNA if they're hot enough. Be careful though. The human body is 70% water. A lot don't realize water does not burn. So this process will take a long time to be effective. It also smells absolutely disgusting. Burning human flesh doesn't smell like barbecue. Option number 3, bury the body in an already unfilled grave, or even a filled one. You could always go to your local cemetery with your shovel, gloves, and mask on, and not suspiciously uncover a recently filled grave. No one would think to check, and nobody's really ever at a cemetery in the first place. It's not like someone would build a cemetery next to a school where there would be hundreds of witnesses. Option number 4, the accident. Make your murder seem like an accident, whether it be by hit and run or drowning. Take your pick. If done properly, there would be no further investigation, and you would get away with none the wiser, which is our goal all along. Murder is a talent we all possess, so don't give up hope. Your hypothetical, speculative, inconceivable murder will succeed, but only in your head because murder is bad. But just because it's bad doesn't mean you should get caught. It's not a crime unless there are witnesses. Jean Rostand once said, "Kill a man, one is a murderer. Kill a million, a conqueror. Kill them all, a god." Go ahead and kill them all. Set your heights high. Aim to be the greatest.